the biggest truth is hidden in the cells of our bodies. We are biological consciousness. We are everything.
What would it mean if we discovered undeniable proof, the actual words of an ancient message coded into the DNA of life itself, into the cells of our bodies? Is it possible? For hundreds of thousands of years, each of us has carried a message from the day of our origin, a message that could only be translated. Yes, we've got to ask ourselves, what would such a message say? What if the message from our past was left within life itself? What if the message is inside of us, perfectly replicated inside of each of the 50 trillion or so cells of our bodies, stored in the living library of the 6 billion plus people of our world? Such a universal message would tell us that we're more. We're more than any disease that we may ever experience. We're greater than the differences that separate us in the past. We're greater than the reasons that led to the great wars of the 20th century. It tells us that we're family. And as a family, we're part of something beyond the appearances of our everyday world. Our genetic code becomes words, and the words become sentences. And that whoever, whatever is responsible for our being here may have left something hidden for us deep in the mystery of our lives long ago. In the last couple of years, so much new information has come to light regarding the theories of evolution that are pushing the dates of human origins back further and further into the mist of time, that new publications had to be released in mid-year just to keep up with all the changes. One of the most amazing changes is a discovery of a form of human that for all intents and purposes looks just about like you and me, that is much, much older than anyone had ever thought possible in the past. It was excavated just outside of Ethiopia. The question is, if evolution has in fact occurred, then why haven't we seen that evolution occurring in those last 160,000 years? Did we just arrive intact in the form that we are now? Is it possible that maybe we changed very little? Or has something else happened?
The truth is hidden in the cells of our bodies. Is the language of light the language of our soul? I came from a point of view that the full human soul is not embodying our biological form. It's fragmented with lots of belief programs. The body codes of our cells will respond to the language of light symbols we create with intent. I talk about the doodling and the drawing, but of course the same we all heard about the sacred names, they work the same way. And only then will our language of light symbols have the higher power to reprogram our DNA. And my workbook explains how that happens.
When words can no longer express the depths of our emotions or feelings, it is the magic of art, color and light that can break down barriers in communication. Art, after all, is the language of the soul. It's a tool leading us to our higher selves and revealing to us the essence and purpose of our lives.
A couple of years ago, when I was doing marriage counseling, I realized that I needed to find a way where people could express their emotions without using words. So the idea behind the course is also that people actually interpret their own work. And that's actually the aim, that people start to recognize that they have an inner language, which I call the language of light, which is a true language. It's not distorted by words. We interpret words differently. But when you look at a drawing and you look at it from a point of view of what energy does the drawing have, what feeling do I get from the drawing, then you get the answer. And that is a quality. So the art analog drawing is to bring the language of light into our consciousness.
So our existence can now be multidimensionally experienced while having a physical body. That is actually the fourth level of our awakening. This is during the time when they talk about Mayan calendar, that we actually evolved into physical beings that can experience multidimensional worlds while having a physical body. This is an awesome thought. through the awakening of our third eye.
A few months ago, I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing, and how thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience. And then I suddenly felt like I was looking at these thoughts from another perspective, and I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. I saw that I was bigger than what I do. I was bigger than my body. I was everything and everyone. I was no longer a fragment of the universe. I was the universe. And ever since that day, I've been trying to get back there. It comes and it goes. It's like riding a wave. Sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off. But at least I know where I want to go. And that I want to take as many people with me as I possibly can, because the feeling is amazing. I'm amazed when people go like, the world is insane, man. It's crazy. It's out of control. It's like people are completely nuts. Like that. Seriously, we live on a planet where we're very crammed together, and I think we do really well. It's just that when we watch the news and we watch entertainment, it's about people's conflicts tied together in the most exciting possible way. And you imagine that the world is this explosive, horrifying place, and the news is all this negativity condensed, and it really is not representative of what the world is or what the world wants.
When I was years ago traveling to the United States in Los Angeles airport, and I was on the standby ticket and had to wait 6 hours for my next flight. Hopefully I would get on to Auckland. I was exhausted. I already had flown many miles to get there, and there was renovations going on at the same time, and I sat on my suitcase. I experienced something, and he described it very well, and I wanted to give you a visual. What I experienced was that all form took away. I sat on my suitcase and I suddenly felt that everything around me became vibrational waves of color. And the forms and everything mingled into each other. Now, this moment lasted like a split second, but it totally threw me what happened. And like when he said, and I'm trying to get back there, believe you me, I've tried to get back there, I never did. But I had one experience. So when I found him on YouTube, I thought, this is so appropriate. You all probably have seen Jim Carrey in his movies. A humorous guy. But he's actually really on this spiritual journey because he has experienced that. And as what he says, he wants to take as many people with him. So do I. And all of you have had in your life those fourth level of awakening experiences, and you want to go back there. But of course, if you too much focus on going back there and go on top of a mountain meditating because you think you're going back there, forget it. This is your life. This is the school of life. You have to do it while you are here, in this life. The more we get to know about ourselves, the more we understand that we are so much the same as everybody else. We are. There's no difference. We all have the same emotions. We all know what it feels like. That's why movies work, because they work on us. And when we all go and see one movie, we all react different to the tearjerker moments, because that is where our issues are, and they stir up. And I want you to walk out of that door with an aha moment. I want you to feel what the fourth level of awakening actually feels like. Having an aha moment is wonderful. We all go to shows and we all read books and we all see movies to get that aha moment. But now, I'll show you something else.